Hello and welcome again to Creepy Cutie Crafty. Welcome again to me, Mum, having a go at some things. This week I've come to a few decisions. Basically, I would like to put out more videos and have more time to do fabric crafts as well. So as well as having these sort of long projects that take weeks and weeks and years and whatever, I'm also going to start posting my sort of fabric Fumble Fridays, I think I called them on my YouTube post the other day. Essentially, what I want to do is do 45 minutes to an hour of unedited sewing and stitchery on Fridays. So you get to see the joy of me, fumbling along and having a go at some fabric crafts, doing some stitchery, and I won't be editing it as much because I just want it to be just straight to post basically. And the idea is that I get to play around with more materials and you get more regular updates from me. Now you can probably hear my voice is a little bit shot because I've been at work for the last 2 days. It's over half term and I work in a museum and we've had lots and lots of people visiting. So it's got very, very loud. So I've had to speak at the top of my voice for 2 days. So now I sound a bit croaky. I'm sure you can survive with that. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be continuing with this little thing. You've probably seen it on my shorts and things. I'll give you a quick look at it in a moment. But basically this is my wooden reel of different stitches, different embroidery stitches, different techniques, different things I'm going to try out. I'm onto this area here, which is sort of a plain linen area. My bits and pieces here are folded up using these clips, and I'm going to have a go at doing some bits and pieces on here. It's a little bit sort of skewy, it's a bit sort of warped underneath where it's stretched, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because, again, I am trying things out. I'm not going to be too precious about it. We'll see how that goes. So if you want to see what I've created so far, let's go back all the way to the beginning. I've done quite a bit on this gingham type pattern, and I've really enjoyed doing it actually. So I started off with these sort of rough patterns here. You can see I did these on my knee whilst I was at a convention for a TV show, Supernatural. Any other fans out there? Hi guys. And I was just sort of doing squares and crosses and dots and just sort of rotating patterns there, and then I started to do some sashiko style stitches just here, a mix of sashiko and chicken scratch type stitches just there, and this is a full sashiko type stitch, but that's done with a variegated thread, so you have this sort of change of tone as you go through the piece. This is a straight up hitomizashi, I believe, stitch, which I do really like, and then some more sort of random attempts at just filling space really with crosses and knots and weaving inside the things. I really like this one. This is one of my favourites, where the pink thread isn't actually going through the fabric, it's just held on in place by these stars, and on we go. Again, I really like that one. I've got some more fabrics over here, some pattern fabrics, some plain fabrics, and some finer sort of gingham type fabrics that I'm going to have a go at with more chicken scratch style things later. And it's quite fun. I enjoy doing that one as well. That one's quite a nice one. Again, the white thread is going through the threads on top. It's not actually going through the fabric. And you can see how we're going with that one. It's looking quite nice really, isn't it? I really enjoy this one. I do like, I'm a bit of a pattern fan. I enjoy doing patterns as I stitch. I've always enjoyed doing them. If you see my artworks elsewhere online, you'll know that I enjoy doing sort of rotational patterns on paper with black ink, yeah, it's fun to do it with fabric as well. And I've got some ideas about what I'm going to do with that in the future, but for now I'm going on to this, which is plain linen. And one of the things I want to have a go at is black work. Now, I've never done black work before. Somebody suggested I should give it a go because I was very good at doing sort of pattern works and things like that. And so I've got myself a couple of books about how to do it, A Beginner's Guide to Black Work. And it's this sort of very fine detailing. It's quite used quite a lot in a lot of historical outfits and garments. You can see they've got like samplers there. It's called black work, but you can use other shades as well. Black and purple are quite popular, as you can see there. And also, so daisy, you can see that little pattern there. Black and purple looks really good. And again, you use like Ida fabric, so you use the dots and the grid structure to get the pattern down. I've never done this before, and I have a plan for a black work pattern, which I'm going to give a go. But for now, for today, I'm just going to do a few little sort of black work style stitches on this one, and just see how it turns out. So I'm going to put that over there for the moment, my book over there for the moment. One thing you may have noticed, I'm not at my normal table. I've decided to do this on my knee instead, so I've got a little setup on the chair behind me, just because it's more comfortable for me when I'm stitching. I've hurt my back in the recent few weeks, so you're going to have to forgive it for being a little bit less professional this time, but I hope you like what we produce, or what I produce anyway, because I'm on my own today. So I've got my fabric scissors, I've got my embroidery scissors, and I've got my needles there. I've already got a needle out somewhere. Where is it? There it is, with this dark blue fabric. But as I'm going to be doing black work, I'm going to use black thread. Isn't that remarkable? I might also use some purple thread later, I don't know. Going to see how that goes. Now, with embroidery thread, there are multiple strands there. So I'm thinking maybe of using only half or less of a strand, just to make the strands thinner so that I can do more detail on there. I don't know how that's going to go though. So what I'll do is, for the first one, I'm just going to use a little bit of black and do it in the full thickness of thread. I've also got some fancy cotton threads over there somewhere. Not cotton, it's spelled cotton. And I might give those a go after I've had a go with the basic embroidery thread. And yes, I am using a needle threader because my eyes are not good at the moment. There we go. Oopsie daisy. There we go. That's gone through. Now then, what kind of pattern am I going to do? With this one, I'm not going to be too delicate. I'm just going to put a knot at the end and see how we go with that one. Okay, so I'm going to pick a page at random and just see, oopsie daisy, if my fingers will work. That would be good, wouldn't it? Let's see what we can do. So I'm going to have a go at, maybe that one, a little sort of noughts and crosses type deal. This doesn't have a grid on it, so it's going to be fun just trying to get it straight. So that'll be interesting, won't it? And I'm sure that you black work aficionados out there will tell me all the ways I'm getting this wrong. That's fine though. We've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? Excuse the noise upstairs, my child, Squinks, is doing some tidying, which could mean just about anything. you're going to have a few moments of silence with me. I'm so used to working with the sounds, with the sound turned off when I'm doing my projects on the table, but for this I'm going to have to keep talking. So I'm basically just trying to do a straight line. I'm trying to make the gap between them half the length of the line itself. Just to there. I'm using the threads, the weave, to try and get a nice straight line. And then I'm going to try and do the same going in that direction. Yes, as I'm on my knee, I've only got the one light just over in that corner, so you can see some shade. But I'll try not to make it too difficult to see. Normally I would have my nice big softbox lights, but it's not possible to do that in this corner, so I'm sure we'll survive. And then back this way. That one might be a bit short, that's fine. Yeah, it's a bit short, that's okay. I can live with it. I'm sure you can too. Yeah, I'm going to start a project in the next few weeks that uses more blackwork style stitches, so that will be fun to have a go at. And I hope you guys are going to be around for that one. It's another little geeky project that Squinks has requested. So that will be fun. What would you call this type of video? Because I've seen a few other people do it. I watched Create and Craft with Christine, and I've watched the Stitchery and other people like that who are very much more expert at doing this kind of thing than I am. And they call these stitch-alongs, but I don't know if I can call this a stitch-along because I'm not really doing anything that's new and exciting for you guys. And if you've come to this channel to try and learn from me, no. I'm very much new to all things Stitchly. I mean, I did some when I was at school, when I was much younger, but I don't quite know how well the teacher taking the class liked doing needlecraft and things, because they were somewhat more interested in doing art and design classes than doing fabric design. Yeah, you can see I've already gone off the straight and narrow there as they were, because I'm doing this very ad hoc. Oh well, like I say, I'm learning. Just gonna sort of tap that one in there to make it a little bit less obvious where I've messed up, and we'll see how we go. I suppose I could have drawn this out first, but I wanted just to have a play and see what I could do freehand. It's quite nice doing freehand stitches, because your mistakes become part of the work, I suppose. I was watching, who was it? Who did what now the other day? I was listening to a podcast, it's some sort of historical and social podcast, about various things from history, and it was talking about Catherine of Aragon, who was Henry VIII's first wife, who was very much an expert at embroidery and became quite widely known and respected for her embroidery and sewing skills. And it's quite interesting, actually. I'd love to see what kind of things that he'd have made. Apparently, even whilst the king was married to Anne Boleyn, he was still getting shirts made by Catherine of Aragon, the first wife. It's fascinating, really, when you find out the historical context behind these stitches and these processes. It's always worth finding these things out. It's fascinating to find out where the symbols and things have developed from as well, because quite often they have meanings beyond what we would assume nowadays. So it's always interesting to find that out as well. It is very wibbly wobbly, isn't it? What do you think of it so far? I'm going to learn my lesson and not make this thread too short, because otherwise I won't be able to tie off the ends. We'll see how we go with that one. Right, so turn that over. Take the needle out. And get my black thread from over here. I am literally sitting on my sofa, stitching like this, and listening to my child making noise upstairs. So I've got a big pile of fabric and hoops and things next to me. Hello, child. Squinks. I'm videoing.
Hello.
I'm videoing.
Huh?
I'm videoing. Stop making so much noise.
Hi.
Okay, right. Bye. It's my first time doing this, so I'm not yet overly familiar with the idea of letting me get on with it. Oh well, we shall learn. This is quite a big pattern, so I'm going to work in a much more dainty manner when it comes to actual decorative black work, I think. We shall see. I say that a lot, don't I? We shall see. Have any of you started watching The Great British Sewing Bee? The new series started 2 weeks ago on Tuesday. It's always fascinating to watch these guys having a go at things and seeing how their creative minds work to fulfill the problems in the task sector. I think it's really interesting. Yeah, I've started this one with a relatively simple pattern. The next one I'm sure, will be a lot more complicated. We shall see. That's got knotted up behind there. There we go. It's a bit wibbly wobbly, but I kind of like it. I'm not going to say it makes it look more handmade, because I know that handmade doesn't mean wibbly wobbly, it means done well, but I'm learning. Let me know in the comments down below, have you had any experience doing black work or any of these other specific modes of embroidered decoration? I'm trying out some new things. I'm going to have a go at doing some gold work sometime in the next few months. It just depends on time and the finances and whatever else I've got going on at the time. Oops. After I've done a couple of patterns here, there's something else I want to have a go at, but we'll get to the end of this first, I think. It's quite interesting looking at this and seeing how at the top here it's all a bit winky wonky, and then as I go down here it gets straighter and more tidy. We'll see how the last 2 or 3 look though. It's been nice to do some more fabric crafts in the background, as well as the sculptural work I did recently. What did you think of the diorama box I did? I'd love to know what kind of things you guys would like me to make. I'm also, again, trying to rack my brains, trying to think of things to do for, excuse my stomach, things to do for shorts, like these minute or less long videos, which doesn't really lend itself to working with big projects like this, does it? I kind of get the feeling that unless the shorts are really punchy or really funny, most people don't look at them very often, and most don't share them. I mean, there was a thing about the Streamy Awards recently, where quite often it's presented by people who have big presences on YouTube or other video streaming services. And a couple of years ago it was hosted by people doing TikTok, which is basically all shorts, which is fair enough if you like that kind of thing. But the problem was that you recognise the channel rather than the star of the short, and the content creators weren't recognised by the people who are visiting. They might have 1 million or so followers, but they follow for the content, they don't necessarily follow for the people. So it's a bit worrying that YouTube wants to go down the same route, because that means that maybe they're trying to divorce the content from the makers. What do you think? I mean, there's a lot of channels that have dedicated followers. Quite often there's like friend groups and social groups, but I'm wondering how much that translates to short makers, because there are obviously some channels dedicated to making only shorts. Then again, I'm not 100% an expert on that, but we'll see. I'm liking how this one's turning out. What do you think of it? And what kinds of crafts and stitching and sewing and making are you guys getting up to this week? As I say, it's half term, so me and Squinks have been making doing a crafty video earlier in the week. Gonna get that edited and I'm gonna post it hopefully over the weekend, but it's not stitching, sorry. But we shall see how that turns out. What do you think of the idea of my Friday fabric fumbles, or whatever name I might call it? I might have to get like a big title screen for that one. I'm not going to use the usual Creepy Cutie Crafty opening screen, because I want to use that one for the longer projects. But for this one, I think it's okay for me to have just a straight into it, and not much editing, maybe taking out a bit of Squinks' interjections. Other than that, it's all good. Just realised though, I'm going to try and think of things that I can talk to you guys about for an hour and not repeat myself too much, which I know that I do already. Yeah, I'm getting old, my memory's going. You'll have to forgive me. Okay, so this is getting towards the end. I'm trying to have a look at some other patterns I might want to have a go at. There are a few that are a bit more detailed. I don't know. That's interesting. This does look very much like a Sashiko pattern. I'm sure there is an equivalent one here, but I'm not actually doing Sashiko this time. I am having a go at black work. Yeah. And also, yeah, Sashiko. Not Sashiko, Sashiko. Got to get that word right. I'm trying to learn some Japanese at the moment because I would love to go to Japan just to have a look at their crafty culture a bit more in a bit more detail. But at the moment I'm stuck on how to tell the time. But I'm getting there. This old brain has still got space to learn new things. Right, well that bit's done. I'm just going to turn it over and do a quick knot on the back. Yeah, you can see it's fluffed up a bit there. That's fine, I can live with that. And you can hear Squink's having a go. They're tidying upstairs still. They bought a new toy and they're very keen on getting it out and displaying it. We've been out into the town centre today to get a few bits and pieces, and of course they wanted to spend some of their pocket money. I'd like to say that they've earned their pocket money, but I hate to say this, I don't think they have, which is why they're tidying their room now. Okay, so I like that. If this was a brighter white it'd be nice. This is a sort of just like buff linen type fabric. I think it works quite well. I'm going to have another go at another one though. What shall I do? I'm going to have a go at one that's a little bit more complicated, I think, because what's my life without a little bit of extra complication? I don't know. Should I do it in black or should I do it in purple? I think I'm going to do it in purple, because why not? It's not quite purple, it's more of a reddish purple, more like a burgundy, but that's quite nice. Shall I do it with the full thread or only half a thread? I think I'm going to have a go doing it with half a thread. So only a couple of the strands rather than all the strands. This end has already started to fray, so let's give it a go. Oops, there's 6 strands there. Sorry, I forgot where my camera was for a moment. And there we go. Problem is, this does like to twist, doesn't it? That's the nature of the beast. Nearly there. So close. Come on, thread. You know you want to. There we go. So I've got 2 strands of 3 threads. I'm going to put one over here for the next round of stitches, and this one down here. This is going to be interesting. See if I can thread it without the threader. Almost definitely not, so I'm not even going to try. When I was little, my mother used to always come up to me with her needles and threads, and she was doing bits and pieces, and get me to thread the needles for her because my eyes were so good, but my eyes have somewhat deteriorated since then. Oh well. That's why I've now got magnifiers and stitch threaders and all these other things that are useful. There's no point pushing against something that's not going to work anymore, is there? Very true. Anyway, right, so which one was I going to do? I was going to do that one. So I'm going to have a go at this one here. So I feel like if I make all the down lines first, because it's sort of a random, not random, sort of a rows of squares, it should be easy enough to do. Famous last words, eh? Right then, so I'm going to top this outside edge here. And if I didn't have it in the hoop, maybe it'd be easier to do like a row of stitches all in one go, but I'm not going to stress over it. By the way, what do you think of the blanket I've got on my knee? This is a very large crochet blanket that my mum made. Again, my mum has crochet skills. I do not. Maybe one day I should have a go at doing some crochet. Let me know down in the comments, would you like to see me have a go at crochet? Please don't say yes. Because it's going to be bad for everybody. But especially me, because I don't have a crochet kind of mind, it seems, unfortunately. But maybe in a few months or something, I don't know. Please excuse my stomach. Sorry, you're going to have moments of me going into contemplative stitching, which I guess is the ideal, but doesn't make for particularly good YouTube watching, does it? Sorry. Yeah, it's nice to try and get these in nice straight lines and also nice and even, which I think I'm doing, but we'll see how it turns out at the end.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you can see on here, these ones are getting shorter and shorter, which isn't working too well, and this gap here is getting bigger and bigger. That's what happens when you do freehand, I guess. Do you guys prefer to have your patterns all nice and laid out for you, or do you prefer to have to be able to do it freehand? It's quite good to do, like, I've heard of stitch or thread painting and things. I'm guessing that's more freehand, but it's also quite fun to do things with a more set prepared idea, so it winds up being more even or more balanced or whatever. Everyone's got their own thing, I suppose. Yeah, everyone's got their preferences. Yeah. Yeah. I do like the use of this purple on this this fabric. I think it stands out quite well. It's nice. And the next bit of this is going to be a lot more complicated, so wish me luck. I did have a third task I was going to get started today, but I think I'm going to save that for next week's sesh. So yeah, I'm going to try and do this every Friday so I get more stitching practice done. Just going to go back over this row and lengthen these a little bit, I think, just to make it a bit more workable. Again, this is just a practice. I'm not going to worry about it being perfect. I'll save that for the finished piece. Yeah, I mean, the UK at the moment is, the weather is a special kind of weather. Every morning it's been, oh, is it raining? Yes, and then a couple of hours later, burning sunshine, and then a couple of hours later, raining and cold. It's so changeable at the moment. You can't really plan anything, so I'm not just trying to get things organised and get on with living my life, I think, if that makes sense. Yep, I'm trying to go the other way now. I do like the thinner thread. It does give it much more definition. I might have to try and use that more in future projects. Yes. I hope you enjoy the sounds of listening to me breathing for 5 minutes. It's not the most exciting thing you could possibly hear, is it? Not really. Oh well. This weekend, hopefully if the weather holds, we'll be doing some furniture shopping because again I've got some other things lined up. I'm planning to build myself not a dedicated craft room but a dedicated craft area. What I'd really like to do is build a little extraneous room in the garden so that I can just do all my crafting in there, but at the moment I have not got the money for that. So that's going to be the next thing to save for. But for the moment, there is an area at the back of the house in a room that's pretty much disused that I can build some furniture into, putting up a new table, maybe a more comfortable seat for me to sit on whilst I'm crafting, so I can do more regular videos, which hopefully you guys will like. Would that be better for you? I know it certainly would be better for me, and it would also definitely be better for YouTube, because they like regular viewings, because then that gets you the hit count, doesn't it? Yeah. If I could, of course, same as I'm guessing an awful lot of you, I would spend all my days just crafting and baking and doing all the things that are fun and or yummy. But until I've won that lottery win, I'm gonna have to do with what time I can. Someone has suggested that I should set up a Patreon. Is that what it's called? A Patreon or a coffee account? I don't know. Let me know what you guys would think of that. I don't really have enough followers to assume that anybody would be interested in that kind of thing so far, but as I say, if it's something that gives me the time to do crafting full time, I would love to do that. I really would love to do that. At the moment, it's all about making enough money to live, isn't it, unfortunately, and that's the same state for a lot of people. And I know that I'm very lucky to have the time that I do. Because not everybody has the amenities that I have. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't want more. And I wouldn't want more time to stitch and sew and do all the things that I love doing. There we go. I know there's a better way of doing this, but I don't know what it is because I haven't learned it yet. Maybe I'll learn it next time. How about that? And again, all of these offcuts, they get put into little pots I'm going to use for stuffing a pin cushion that I've got planned sometime in the next month or two. So that'll be fun. Not yet sure what design I'm going to do with on the pin cushion. It might be a little bit of black work and it might be a little bit of something else. I don't know yet. We shall see. And I'm gonna eat my words in 5 minutes, I know, but so far I haven't yet stabbed myself with a needle. So that's quite good, isn't it? For me. So, how about you guys? Do you have dedicated craft rooms, or do you just fit in wherever you can? I know lots of people who would dream of having a craft space that's just for them. But there's a little tiny knot on there. I thought it would be thin enough to go through, but no, it was refusing. Oh well. I think this pattern could look quite nice with the squares in black and then the lines between it in purple, or mixing them up like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that for the next one. Like I say, I have got something planned for the next one, but that's going to be in a few videos time, I think. I'm also having to think about things I would like to have a go at doing with gold work or white work. For the gold work, I've kind of got an idea based on almost like picture frames, painting frames, you know, the fancy ones you see in art galleries and things, or having a go at doing like a mythological beast. One of my favourite mythological beasts is a cockatrice, which sounds rude, but it isn't. It's a cockerel with the tail of a snake or a lizard, and it's supposedly it breathes foul air and is generally quite terrifying. So if I find a picture, I'll put one up on the screen somewhere around here. And I was thinking of having a go at doing something like that in black, in gold work. So doing sort of almost like a heraldic type thing. I'd like to have to go at doing something like that using the egg tempera style of painting as well, because I think that would work quite well. I don't know. What do you think? Gotta give it a go. Yeah, you can see I'm missing some spaces there for where the lines haven't lined up exactly, so I'm just going to fill in a little bit of that space. Just tidy it up as I'm going along. And yes, I know I've not done that bit. I'm going to go back to doing that at the end when I've lengthened these a little bit, I think, so they can be a bit more in keeping with the rest of the pattern. We shall see. So I've only got these two little bits done this time, but I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. Let me know if you enjoyed this format, this sort of stitch along style format that I've seen people have a go at before. And would you like to see more in this style? Let me know down in the comments below. Like I say, I'm going to keep the editing on this one to a minimum, just so that it's got more time to be posted, and I want to post this by the end of today, because today is, of course, Friday. So Friday fabric fumbles, I think, is a go. I just got to think of more things to say so I don't lapse into silence. Yeah, there we go. That's the last stitch on that one. I think that works quite well. What do you think? I like almost the 0 and 1 type style on there. I think it sort of works. And somehow I've actually managed to make it almost the same pattern at the top and the bottom. That was not planned at all, but I think it's a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. Okay, so I'm going to end that there. Just tie that off quickly on the back. And put my needle on the side. Save the rest of this for later. Oops, a daisy. Knocking everything over there. So, there we go. What do you think of those? Just some simple sort of black work style ideas. And maybe the next time I can have a go at doing something a bit more pictorial, something a bit more delicate, something a bit more detailed. Let me know what you'd like to see. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this new format, and I hope to see you in the next video. And of course, if you've enjoyed watching me having a go at this and you want to see more, remember to like and subscribe and tap that little notification bell so you don't lose me on the internet, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for listening to me mumble on for over an hour. Although I will be cutting out some noisy bits from Squinks. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much, and bye-bye!